Good morning, and thank you for choosing Vagabond Nerds for your nerdy pleasure. Emergency exits are here and located at the back. In the event of a water collision, Raymond will serve as a flotation device.
Yes, I will.
And in the case of a mountainous crash, I do recommend eating Sean first, as he has been properly marinated over years of alcoholism and self-hate.
Are you?
Good morning, guys.
Did you just compare me to Kobe beef?
Yes.
Okay.
He's nowhere near
I'm
as
nowhere.
young, though.
I'm definitely not. Well, I'm not young enough, and I'm not.
He's aged.
Big enough for that. You're gonna starve soon off of me.
Yeah. Right, but you would taste amazing.
I bet I probably
No, we're
would.
going after your fat ass first.
So all right. So maybe not me for every meal.
Right.
But definitely for those special occasions.
Exactly.
Your week-long anniversary of being on the mountaintop.
Right.
This was the day. This was the day we crashed 5 days ago. Let's have a little Sean tonight.
Yep.
I understand.
Except we're not getting any meat from that rump.
No, again, no. It's
there's
like
no rump
nothing.
meat.
There's nothing there. There's no rump. It's all
backstrap.
It looks like a frog stood up and put on a pair of pants.
Hey, Bruce, shut up.
Is he already?
He already started, man.
Of course he is. Thank you, Bruce. Welcome, everybody.
How y'all doing?
We're doing, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good, except for the fact that I can't see John Wick 3 now.
Why?
Well,
what happened?
Somebody posted something online, and it pretty much I don't want to say it because I'd hate to spoil it for anybody else if they haven't seen it. Although, how long has it been out now? What is this? 2 weeks?
Yes, it's been 2 weeks.
Are we 2 weeks? Okay, so the embargo's off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody posted the same weekend I had just spoken with this individual that Keanu Reeves confirmed for John Wick 4. I haven't seen the movie yet.
He didn't know how it ended.
So
yeah. I mean, yeah, but so you ruined it.
How do you know it's not a prequel?
No.
How do you know? I mean, seriously, this is Keanu Reeves. He could have died at the end of the film and then gone on and done a prequel. But given the previous,
so now you're
films,
trying to ruin it even more.
Hold on, let's say this.
I haven't seen it yet. So
let's say this. Keanu Reeves not getting any younger.
Right.
So
hold on.
And they don't
Is he not?
And they don't have.
The man hasn't aged in 20 years.
Actually, he has. You're
thinking of Paul Rudd.
Very subtle. Oh God, dude.
Paul Rudd hasn't aged in 20 years.
This is amazing. Anyways, fair point. Maybe it is. Because I'm always one to say fair point for that. Maybe it is a prequel. Doesn't mean you're still not a douche. Dude, we had talked on Saturday, and then 2 days later, frickin' Keanu Reeves confirmed for number 4. And I'm like, okay, first off, thank God you didn't do it in the VB, the Vagabond Nerds feed. Yeah. Good on you for not doing that. But I tend to enjoy some of your posts, however crazy as shit they are.
Really?
I still tend to
It is crazy.
No,
yeah.
He's got a lot of crazy stuff. Oh, and I don't dig into the articles necessarily, but I love to see what he writes sometimes because it can be interesting. You know me, I like all sides. I like everybody's
opinion. Is that a flask?
opinion.
Do we have a flask?
Oh, yeah, well, of course we do.
You guys are going to start.
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead
going to start.
But, dude, you can't do that. Don't do that.
The entire
the next time
point
not the entire point. The next time you do
movie
something like this, I am totally unfollowing your page. Just like, nope, no more Jason McLean. We're done.
Okay. So for those of you who are playing the home game, I am now working with
Nobody
Movie
cares.
Geek Feet. Screw off.
So can we skip past your stuff and just get to what we're talking about?
Fine.
Are you about to promote a different show?
Whose show are you on?
It's not a show.
Why don't you slow down there,
website.
Eddie?
Ooh, that's.
Hey, Eddie, how are you doing, bud?
Anyway,
I miss
it's
Eddie.
a website. They're helping to promote us. I'm
seen
putting
Eddie in a
stuff
long
out
time.
there.
I miss Eddie's
Screw
meat.
off, both of you.
You know what? We could eat Eddie if we die in a plane crash.
That's true.
Well, not if we died.
Not if you died. Well, you could if you were zombies.
Well, that's true.
Zombie plane crash.
What are we talking about today? You know, Jansen, how are you today, man?
Good.
Good. There we go.
Hey, Bach, how you doing?
Short and sweet and to the point. I like it.
He's doing well.
That's good.
We need to set up a bot cam.
One of these days we will.
Yeah.
One day we will.
One day we'll get a bot cam so we can everybody can see just how bored the in studio guest is.
Yeah.
Just how asleep he is outside of Jason.
That's right.
Bach is Jason if he was driving.
Bach is Jason if he was. No. Bach's a lot friendlier. As far as I can tell, Bach is way friendlier than you probably are while you're
You have no idea this morning that's actually a true statement.
But that's what I'm saying.
I thought he was going to actually get out of the car.
Yeah.
No one knows this. Jason just looks fluffy and nice. This man's an a-hole through and through.
Really am. Yes, please. I have to put up with.
He's got to put up with us.
I'll tell you what.
I can't do this job sober.
While Jason's drinking here, you know what we're talking about today, Sean?
Are we talking about Twilight 7?
We are talking about Twilight 7.
Actually, is there already a 7?
I have no
know.
idea, dude.
I have no clue.
That's like the worst
count.
series of movies I've ever heard of.
I didn't start counting, so
Well, that's why I lost count.
fair enough.
There we go.
It's like, oh look, there it is.
Fair
So
enough.
who's Batman?
Are we sure this time?
I'm Batman.
We are sure.
Entertainment Weekly's like, man, we are confirmed and exclusive that Robert.
And then 2 weeks
Pattinson-
later, no.
like 2
Actually,
hours later, it was
no,
like,
like,
No, I'm just saying
maybe
2 weeks
like,
later, it's now confirmed.
Well, it's now confirmed.
So
yeah.
what?
It
Was
is confirmed.
Was it yesterday or
They confirmed yesterday.
It was yesterday. Okay, so Robert Pattinson is now
Batman.
the next Batman
For the Matt Reeves.
for the Matt Reeves
Yep.
Batman. I love
that's
the
absolutely right.
photoshopping abilities
Oh, yeah.
of people's nowadays. Like
Well,
I mean,
they should have photoshopped him on the sparkly Batman from Lego.
Okay. All right.
Batman.
So we're talking about this. Let me go ahead and I'm going to get this right out of the way immediately because of what you just said.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing.
What's the thing, man?
I
the
don't
thing?
I don't think
the
that
thing?
it's fair to judge actors on prior
performances?
on a prior decision, right? Let's say consider this.
What world are you living in, man?
I know, right? I'm
Yeah.
living in the real one, not the online world. So consider this. Pretend you go to your job every day and you make a decision one day that is going to affect your career and benefits you greatly. And then over the course of that career, you get to hear about what a piss poor job you did. And
I'm sorry, what?
Representing,
What are you working
representing
again?
everything every day online from millions and billions of strangers you don't know. Now, of course, there's always still some people giving you praise and people love to follow it. But dude, just because the guy was in Twilight, just because he was the sparkly, ridiculously bullshit vampire,
Glampire.
good.
Glampire.
Oh, I love that. I've never heard that before.
I can't own it. Somebody else said it.
No,
but I love it.
but that's perfect.
perfect.
Either way, look, I'm of the opinion we should always give. I understand the knee-jerk reaction is I don't like this, right? And give me. I will say this: I'm not really sure I want to see him as Batman. Okay, I get that. But I cannot say just because the guy was in Twilight that he's going to be a shit actor.
And that's I'm absolutely 100% agreeing with you.
And actually, I agree with you too.
So
we should wait and see, like Ben Affleck. People were lambasting him immediately when it was rumored, and now he's probably one of my favorite Batman.
But here's the thing, though. Since Adam West, people have bitched about every single.
It's just as
I
bad
don't care about your Batman.
It's just as bad as Star Wars.
I will not have Mr. Mom be my Batman.
That's
Michael
right.
Keaton's the
He's
best Batman ever.
Which he is.
You know,
and up until Affleck, he was.
Which he is.
Val Kilmer's gonna suck. Val Kilmer did not suck as Batman.
He did a fine
He
job.
did a great job.
Yeah.
Well, not a great job, but he did a fine job.
That's what I'm saying. He was
The
fine.
one that I rooted for, Clooney, was the one that let me down. But
Yep.
again, that's
Well,
not Clooney.
But that wasn't.
No,
Clooney's
that's
fault.
horrible script.
Actually, that was a combination of Clooney because he was still a young actor and
Yeah.
at the time, and he did nothing but play Dr. Ross from ER in a freaking Batman suit because the
That's
entire
true.
time he waggled his little head just like J Lo.
How's that again?
Just like,
Yeah, like he was Grant Gustin on
That's
the
just
set of The
that's-
Flash.
and at the time that was like that was the extent of his acting capabilities. Like
You know who really let me
But
down
I
on that
love-
one
but
though
I-
was
but
the
I s-
director, Joe
Why?
Schumacher. You saw 8mm with me.
It
that
was
man
after
can
that
go
man
dark.
That was a
overcompensated because of Batman. That's
Yeah.
why 8mm was the way it was. Don't get it confused.
Also the subject matter involved in 8mm is kind of going to lend itself to that tone of a film. You can't make 7 happy and cheery and bright and
Exactly.
sunshine everywhere. So 8mm is the same idea.
Yeah. And that's
Why wasn't 8mm a sequel to 7?
I don't know.
8.
Yeah.
Drink some more.
I'm on it. Sorry.
But no,
Apologize,
I agree with
everybody.
that. Every time a Batman's announced, it's not my Batman. I don't care. I don't want to do this. It's a horrible choice. I don't know. Patterson's actually acted in other movies where he's.
Is it Patterson
he's
or
good.
Pattinson?
Whatever
Which one
the
is it?
hell
No,
it
I'm
is.
just. I'm actually.
I really don't
I
know.
couldn't tell you. Hold
Give me a
on.
sec. No, you don't even have to look it up.
But
Wrote it
yeah,
down.
don't even look it up. Just keep going.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, give him a chance. He's done other movies. He's actually got some acting range. Pattinson. He's got some acting
the bear.
range. No, that's Paddington.
Paddington.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine Paddington playing Batman? What does that look like?
That would be like Lego. That's
Is it-
like
is it-
Lego Batman.
Is it a yellow hat over his ears?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the ears poke through.
The ears
It's more
poke
like
through.
a BDSM mask with the ears poking through.
And now we're talking about Batman Returns.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
True. Actually, it's very true. The Catwoman outfit for Michelle Pfeiffer
Right.
was
Yeah.
very BDSM on that one.
That's
so.
exactly right, which no one had a problem with. So all in all, it goes back to the point of give it a shot, because I don't think he's going to... I don't know. He could totally get in there, and we're asking for the head of Matt Reeves. I don't know, and I hope we don't, right? Because some people would. But
tell me what else. Matt Reeves. What else is Matt Reeves?
Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves has directed and co-written, I believe, the entire Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
for sure, the last two. The last two.
I know you really enjoy that. I've still never seen any of them.
Really?
No, I haven't.
I will tell you this
So we
much.
just never got around to watching it.
When you
They're good.
start caring about the CGI characters, the directors put some work into it.
But I mean, is that the CGI character, or is that the actual character himself, Andy Serkis? Because Andy Serkis always does an amazing job
Fair
playing
enough.
whatever he plays.
The answer to that is yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
All right.
Well, no. And
Yes, maybe no.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
Here's
Yes,
the thing. I
maybe.
agree with. I mean, I think
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
yes and no.
Dick.
Happy. Little
No,
sad.
that's a little inside joke.
That's-
yeah.
Anyway.
Between me, Sean, and about 80
12
other,
other people.
80 other people, actually.
80 other
Yeah.
individuals.
Yeah.
It's not really that little.
Yeah, it's not.
Uh-uh.
Well,
It's not
thanks.
that
I mean, it
inside.
is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I try to help you out
I appreciate
every time I
Appreciate
can.
You hear that?
Anyway,
What were you saying?
I'm done.
No, you had
keep
something to
going.
say. What did you got to say?
Well, again, I think we all agree here. At least give the guy a chance. He does have some acting chops. My only issue is with this sort of aimless direction that the DCU seems to have, where they're like, well, it's like, we're going to create this integrated universe, sort of, kind of, and it's like, we're going to go back and do a prequel. Again, at this point, we still think it's a prequel, but it may not be.
A little too scattershot in their approach
It
to
is.
everything.
Well, and let's be honest.
Because they're also doing the Suicide Squad, which is Suicide Squad confirmed to be a reboot, or is it actually going to be a sequel too?
I'm glad you said this is going to be a show today, really about casting news, and
Yeah.
then when we get to the second half,
Yeah.
about reboots.
We'll worry about that.
But here's the thing, right? So they just announced Joel Kingman, or what is it? Kinnaman?
Joel Kinnaman.
Kinnaman.
He's coming back as Flag.
He's coming back as Flag,
I love Joel Kinnaman.
right? So they started
I
announcing
love that guy. I don't know what it is about him, but I love that guy.
So for this being a quote-unquote hard reboot,
Okay.
it's
It's a reboot
it's seeming
sequel.
more and more like, yeah.
It's like I
And
got you.
late last night, this morning,
Because they still got
there's-
Margot Robbie for
Yes,
Harley
they're
Quinn.
saying
Harley
she'll be
Quinn.
there.
And they still have
Jared Leto apparently is making us
And
either in Birds of Prey or in
Yeah.
in Suicide Squad 2.
and I know we
Joker's
talked
coming
about
back.
I know we talked about Idris Elba on one of our previous shows, but he is not Deadshot. They're still
No.
looking at Will Smith doing
As of
Deadshot?
last night.
Yeah.
As of
As
last
of last
night.
night. Ooh.
They are saying that he's now was it Tiger?
Bronze Tiger.
Bronze Tiger.
Bronze Tiger. Okay.
Who on the CW is played by Michael J. White.
Okay.
Who he did a great. He's been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They introduced him. He went away for a while, and then the past 2 seasons, he's kind of shown up here and there.
Who was also he was the original live action Spawn.
Yep.
And ironically, we saw him just the other day
At the market.
at the market. Yes.
Seriously?
What was he
He
getting?
was
That's
thumping.
cool,
he was
dude.
thumping some melons. No, my wife's.
I bet you he was. Was it Yo Melons?
Yeah, maybe. No, she was rewatch. She's going back and rewatching Jag for some reason, season 1, and he shows up.
He's in that, huh?
Yeah, it's baby Michael J. White.
I love that though. He
was
just
a-
shows up and
he,
stuff.
He was a good. I thought he was a legitimate Spawn.
Oh, he was.
It's just
in a
that
shitty movie.
It was a shitty movie. That was the problem. The movie itself didn't. I mean, it was one of those. It fell into the same problem that all those earlier movies that deserve remakes. I think a lot of that we've talked. Which I mean, it already is kind of getting its own. Yeah. But we've already talked about back in the early '90s that they were like, we can Hollywood the S out of this and it'll be fine. And it's like, no, man, you really got to kind of like Marvel got it right. Thank God.
Right.
So
well, it took a while, but it took Marvel to do Marvel right.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things. But there were some rough starts, and I think it's because, again, much like Warner Brothers in general, the studios didn't really understand the properties or respect them.
Yeah, no, they just
that's-
saw cash cow, and they're
Right.
like, how can we make the money off of this?
And how can we merchandise?
How can we merchandise this? Oh, good God.
Which was exactly what happened with
that's
Batman
what.
and
Yeah,
Robin.
that's exactly what happened.
And
I mean,
Spawn and Steel.
and there's others. Yeah, there's dude. I was
Nobody
watching,
remembers Steel.
We watched Jurassic Park the other day, the original OG 1994. Sam
Yeah.
Elliott.
Are we
Laura
old
Dern.
enough to now
we can say OG?
the OG Jurassic Park?
Just watched that the other day. And
never gets old.
Dude, the movie is still really good, but I remembered it when I was a kid and I saw it, and I was amazed. I mean, not really a kid, but I was younger, right? So I guess I'm still a kid at that point. But when you see the point in the film where everybody's scattered across the island, and the cameras pan back to the main grandpa dude who's kind of funded everything. He's sitting there eating ice cream, and they're scrolling across this wall of Disney World style merchandising.
Yeah,
the lunch boxes, the shirts, the toys, and I'm already looking at this thinking, oh my God, they had already made all this stuff for the movie, but it was made for the movie after the movie. And I was just like, it's one of those things, you're stupid when you're not stupid, but you're not thinking about merchandising when you're younger.
Right.
And again,
that's subliminal right there, man.
time-
You need to buy all this.
You need to buy all of this. And every time it hits me, every time I see stuff like that now that I'm older, and I just had forgotten how much of it was there when we were younger. Because even the Fords, the Explorer was,
the Explorers
remember when that came out? People were like, look at that Explorer.
Yeah.
It was badass at the time. So.
You know, and
they even had a Jurassic Park version of it that you could buy. Yeah.
Well, and when you sit there and you watch it, it's a lot of movies do this. It's how Jason ended up with ball gags. You know, subliminally, he's just like, man, that's great. I got to get one of those. You know. That image running through your head there, Sean?
Shut up.
Wow. Did you finish that?
You did that, Raymond.
Did you finish that?
You did that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't finish.
Well, but here's the thing. I think and this is sort of comes up in gaming as well, right? Is when you're younger, you don't understand how things like that affect you. Like, we're conscious of it now because we're old, right? And we're cynical and we're jaded by the world. You bastard.
Oh, like the big chug that you just took didn't help that.
Yeah, but it's my alcohol.
Oh, yeah. We're out.
Anyways.
This is why we can't have nice things.
We got 45 minutes left. What am I going to do?
Eat Jason. I know what I said.
Anyway. But again, we're old, we're cynical, we're jaded. We understand how the world works, so we see it.
No, you're old and jaded and cynical.
You're just a bastard? What? I mean... Anyway, but as a kid, you don't understand how that works.
Well, you're not.
And
Yeah,
I get which is why he goes into loot crates and how all that sort of plays together. It's like that's how they make their money, and we didn't see it because we were naive enough not to see it. But now we can't help it.
But now we're also trying to hold on to our youth.
It's psychology. You know, that's advertising and marketing is an exercise in psychology.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It was when I took the class on it. I mean, that's the idea. So.
Well, and the guy who pioneered that concept was actually a nephew of Sigmund Freud here in the U.S. His name escapes me.
We are so not getting into that. That is not our show.
Well, no,
hold on, just real quick. But like certain things, like the phrase "breakfast is the most important meal of the day" came from that guy because bacon. Look, I kid you not. Bacon producers were like, "Hey, they're like, we need to find a way to up our sales. Like, can you find a holiday?"
I remember hearing about this. I've heard about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Point being, though, it's all through there. It's in any movie. I watched John Wick. I want to buy that gun. You know, whatever the case that is.
First John Wick. John Wick. That shotgun that he has, where it chambers back here, and he's up here, so it's short. I want that so bad.
I shot one of those. They're fun.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I want that, and I want that Russian auto that you see from.
The merchandising's working right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it really is.
It really is. No, a dude had that shotgun while we were out at the skeet range, and he was. I was amazed. Dude was nailing clays with that thing, and I'm like, dude, how did you do that? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just for civilian use in the U.S.
It's just a bullpup design. It doesn't. Where you load it doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
It doesn't. It's just a tactical shotgun.
It's not making a baby, man.
And a shotgun.
Where you load that's very important.
That's very true. Most shotguns are legal in wherever because it's a shotgun. As long as it's not sawed off far a certain level.
It has to be like 19 inches.
And I don't know what it is, so don't quote
Bottom
me on
line
it,
is if Robert gets up there and starts acting as Batman.
Robert Pattinson.
With
we're
talking about
all the way to Robert Pattinson.
You know, there you go.
Yeah. How did we get? It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
We Amtrak this really quick.
It's just.
I love the fact that it's a verb.
Okay, but hold on. So there were other actors up or rumored for this whole thing.
Several. Nicholas Hoult, the Beast. Yeah.
Armie Hammer.
Armie Hammer was one that I was thinking of.
And I think he would have been
who
great.
Actually, at one point, landed Batman. That's not what a lot of people don't realize is Armie Hammer actually suited up and everything for the Justice League Immortal.
Be the Justice League thing.
So for that George Miller directed Justice League that was supposed to hit right after The Dark Knight, which reading on it, part of that reason that fell through on that was because Christian Bale and oh my gosh, I just forgot the director.
Nolan.
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
they bitched and complained about it. Not only did the writer's strike affect that movie, but they also said, why are you going to have two different Batmans running around and we haven't finished our trilogy?
Yeah.
You know, and so there were a lot of, it all coincided, but there were screen tests.
Have they ever released the images? I know they released the Wonder Woman image, but I've never seen the Batman.
They released images of all of them suited up. They look damn good, man.
Okay. I never saw the Batman one. I'll have to look that one up.
You know, and I got to say, I'm pretty sure he is missing this as well, but Common as Green Lantern, Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah,
actually was pretty good.
Common is so underrated, man. He has a depth to him that really.
John Wick 2.
No, I was going to say Hell on
bring that
Wheels.
full circle.
I don't know if any of you have ever seen Hell on Wheels.
Yeah.
Yep.
His character, I mean, he is just a great. And I've seen him in other stuff where I'm like, I love Common. He's a good actor. He is. They also had Aaron Taylor Johnson, who did Quicksilver.
Yeah,
in
he was
Age of Ultron.
And in Godzilla, since we got Godzilla coming out yesterday.
Coming out, yeah.
Came out yesterday.
Came out, yeah.
The second one, anyway.
But I mean, and then I'd also heard rumors that people were like, "What if Kit Harington's going to do this?" From Jon Snow from the.
Now Kit Harington, correct me if I'm wrong. He's what 5'7", 5'8"?
Oh, he's short.
He's short, right?
He's very short. Yeah, he's 5'7". 5'7" sounds about right. I don't know.
I say that as if I'm like 6 foot, but still.
He is a shorter than average male. Let's put it that way.
So he's Tom Cruise.
Piss off, Ghost.
Sorry.
All that to sit there and say is there was a lot of people in this running. Obviously, he presented something to them that said, I can do this.
I mean, he looks like a Batman. Like, I mean, honestly,
he's got a good jawline.
He's got a good jawline. Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could play both.
Yeah.
So
why does 5'7" sound tall to Bruce?
With the size, I'm gonna just jump over that one.
Okay.
You like what I did there?
I like that.
With the unibrow thing that he's got going on, how his eyes are set so deep in, he's gonna have a great deep eye in the cowl kind of thing going on.
So
I mean, sorry,
ghostly.
Robert, but that's it. I mean, he's got his brows are far forward and his eyes are set deep.
But it was funny because I was talking, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I was talking to Marcus with ANX podcast last night, and he had said the same thing that you had just said a little bit ago about DCU. They're aimless. You know, and that's a problem. Well, are they trying? Are they trying to create a universe? Are they not trying to? We know the Joker movie that's coming out. It's going to be a Elseworlds tale.
Right.
Yeah. Right. They've already said it.
Right.
How does that look? You know, Shazam, Aquaman. They've taken different steps completely from what we've seen up until now.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Well, I think Shazam and Aquaman are playing off of
Marvel.
True in a way, but no, I think they're continuing. Okay, it's a hybrid. It's a Marvel hybrid with Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman was a fantastic movie. That was
absolutely.
That I mean, if you look at what DC did up to that point, when they put out Wonder Woman, it was just like yes, like you were like yes. Where has this been? Like where has this direction been for these movies up till now? And you know. They managed to pull in that spirit for both of those movies. It went a little more comical and it was a little funnier, but it also engaged audiences more.
Well, I'm interested to see how it is because I think DC's onto something by the fact that they want to just create movies. Let's make great movies. We've said it before on the podcast. Looking at the Joker trailer, if they called it anything else, that is an awesome looking trailer for a movie for a character study.
Yeah, called The Clown.
Yeah, whatever
it is.
The movie itself looks fascinating.
Once you put the Joker on there, though, you're expecting something to tie into the greater good, if you will. Whether that does it or not.
Narrative.
Whether that does it or not.
I don't expect that. I don't expect a tie-in. But what it does is.
But the general audience does. You put a movie.
Look, let me just say. What I'm saying is, I feel like it's not that I'm expecting a tie-in to any of the previous ones.
Right.
But I feel that it has some type of it does put an expectation to it. But I think what it does is it puts a really cool you have this preconceived notion of the Joker. You have this preconceived notion of what he is and how he got to be who he is. You see this trailer and you go, oh man, when you hear that it's about the Joker, you take that cool backstory, all that history that's led up to this point, and you cram it into a title. And now you're like, dude, this is actually going to be really fascinating. The fact that he's going to go through what could be considered a Nolan-esque, right? Because it's that type of real-world scenario.
Yeah.
And it's a real-world scenario showing how he becomes the insane, cackling madman that he developed. You know, that that not only developed to be, but that he was introduced as in all
Yeah.
these
But-
comic books so long ago.
Oh yeah, I
But
mean,
that-
yeah. Well, and I think that I think my favorite meme on that is it was 1940s. How to create the Joker in the 1940s? Throw him into some chemicals. How to create him today? Throw him into society.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
You know, and it's I mean, it's and again, if they had said, "Look, we're not going to do this grand connected universe like Marvel does and tell one giant story, but what we're going to do is we will do a Superman movie, we'll do a Batman movie, we'll do a Wonder Woman movie. If we want a character to show up in that movie,
They can.
they can, but it's not going to be. It's not. It doesn't have to be the same actor or actress,
Right.
And it can be their own design. We're
Right.
just saying that yes, all these characters exist, and
They're-
we all know. But we all know their
We
fantasy.
can all play.
Yeah,
But that's the genius and the downside to Marvel.
Yeah.
Marvel has gotten us so prepared to see everything connected with their comic book heroes that there are even some audiences that go, so how does Superman fit into this in-game movie? He doesn't. It's a completely different studio. But he's a
Yeah.
superhero, right? Well, yeah, and I say that not as a joke. I say
Yeah.
that because I've actually had conversations
I
with
know.
people.
Yeah.
Because they just don't understand. So
And it is nothing against them for that.
Yeah.
It's just they're not ingrained into this understanding
Correct.
of the
there's Marvel.
universe
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean,
DC.
I get asked all the time, like,
Yeah.
what's the difference between Marvel and DC? Why isn't Spider-Man hanging out with Batman? I ask those. I get answered.
Yeah.
You've only had one drink.
I know.
You're such a lightweight. That's why I don't drink with you, man.
No. Anyway, it's like I get asked these questions all the time by people like at church. They're like, "Hey, I just saw Endgame. Where's?"
Okay.
And then Jesus came and
Yeah.
said,
And I'm like,
"Why thou,
"Yeah, what
Batman, not with Spider-Man? Jason,
What does this have to do with?" It's like, "What does this have to do with Daniel?" And
your son,
and
or
Jesus
the one with
said,
the lion?"
"I am inevitable."
Not a lot of people know that's how the rapture is going to happen.
That's how the
Exactly.
rapture is going to happen. That's true.
he's going to put on the Infinity Gauntlet. No, but I mean, people just come and say, "Hey, so where does Spider-Man fit in with Batman?" I'm like, "No, he doesn't." Like,
We just offended like a whole.
I know.
I just offended like a whole group.
you just offended yourself. What do you
I am Catholic and I'm self-hating, so it's okay. So
You okay?
I'm
Unclench.
vaguely sorry for what I just.
Yes.
He's all like, Lord, forgive me for that.
Here's the problem. It's the only time
I'll
I
say
actually
some
interact with human
Hail
beings
Marys and a
anymore.
few Our Fathers, and we'll be forgiven.
Yeah, that's what solves it.
Exactly.
According to the church, sure. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's the only time I actually interact with human beings anymore, unless it's on a
Is it
radio
At
television.
church?
Yeah.
Wait, what about your family? Are they not human beings?
All the GDs that you dropped, do you think that brings you closer to God?
I think he understands.
I don't think so.
He gave me you as a friend.
I mean, that's punishment.
to be
You know what you did growing up.
to be fair, it's all about understanding.
It is.
Yeah, but I mean, all that.
I
What
felt
are we
that over
talking
there.
about
I don't know what that was, but I
anymore?
felt that over there. We're talking about
Viewership
Robert
is now down
Pattinson.
back to one person. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Talk about Robert Pattinson
Yeah.
and how he's.
But anyway,
you know,
Somehow we
So-
offended
so the-
atheists in that
yeah,
spiel as well.
um,
I don't know how.
So the bigger DCU, because we said God exists.
Oh, yeah.
The bigger DCU,
Oh, did we?
it is
We did,
problematic.
sort of.
I
Yeah,
believe it.
DCU. Yeah.
It is problematic. It doesn't mean that I don't like the movies. Let's get that straight. I do like.
Oh.
I'm liking everything they put out.
I've gone to the wall defending
I-
Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. So
Who built that wall?
Trump.
No.
No politics.
No.
Anyway, so
No, no,
but
no.
we're. I think we can skip on to reboots.
We
right?
might as well because
I don't know that this is finished yet, though.
Yeah.
I think it's finished.
The thing that I find
it
fascinating.
is finished.
The thing
my
that I
son.
found fascinating was that we did end up on religion for a second there, and we were talking about DC leading up to that, and DC is pretty much nothing but based
Yeah.
off of gods.
well,
And I got.
okay.
Isn't that
We gotta have.
fascinating?
We
Like,
do. Jason's been wanting to have a show
I
Yes.
know
on
yes.
religion and comics.
and comic books.
but I
understand that.
when we get to that point, I'd
It's
actually
like
like to
different way.
bring a real preacher in. You'll forgive me if I say that, right?
Why would you
That's
want to subject them to
hurtful.
this? Why would you
That's my
want to
other
bring
point.
them into this?
I want to see if we get splashed with holy water or not.
I don't know, but that's the point. If they're worth their salt, they won't do anything but forgive us the entire time, and pray for
I
our
didn't say
souls.
I didn't say a Catholic
Or
priest,
Didn't
man.
say that either.
Or perform exorcisms. One of the
Or
two.
perform exorcisms.
But okay.
I'm not going out that window. Someone else can.
Yeah,
But you
hold on,
digress.
But, okay, yeah, that's a different kettle of fish from what we're talking about here specifically. 'cause
Kettle of fish.
kettle of fish.
That's not a kettle.
It's a kettle of fish.
Why would you have a kettle?
What's a kettle of fish?
What are you cooking
Okay,
these
so
fish?
you have a giant kettle. You put
Yes.
it, and then you fill it with fish.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
how
ha-
I fish.
I'm going to back you up to the giant kettle. Who has a giant kettle?
Who doesn't have a giant kettle?
A lot of people. Where are you finding these giant kettles?
My kettle farm.
You don't have a kettle farm.
Lodge probably has a really good one if you could buy it on Amazon.
What? We just stripped from church or strip. Jeez. Did we just go from churches to strip clubs? Is that what you just did?
No, we went from churches to witch burning and kettles.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much
there's
still
there's
par for the
transition.
course.
Still the same.
It's still par for the course.
Yeah, I'm
Jansen,
okay
if
with
you're
that.
not asleep on this show yet, you should be, bud.
So anyway, yes, and I would argue that's actually the issue with DC that they have is they're trying to make character studies out of characters that weren't characters to begin with. They were archetypes.
Right.
And it's like that's the thing that people don't seem to that the people who make the movies don't understand. Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Robin, they were all the characters
Great
you were
song,
supposed.
by the way, Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Fantastic one.
I'd see if Jason's heard it, but his music.
His music is it's awful.
Can we put on some electro
no,
swing?
Jesus, no.
Anyway,
Talk about exorcisms.
Anyway,
I get what you're saying.
they were the POVs to understand the characters.
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
All right, yeah.
that was the whole point. Is we weren't supposed to identify with Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman
Because
per
they were
se.
God. No, they were
With
gods.
the-
They were above
gods,
us.
yeah.
With
Yeah.
the exception of Batman, because he was the only human amongst them.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
And I think
That was
gave
the
us
audience's view into this
Correct.
world.
into the world.
Yeah.
Which, if you were going to do it Justice League, it's exactly the point of view you would take it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and they did. Let's
They
face
kinda
it,
did.
they
They
did a
kinda
good
did,
job.
yeah.
They
They took Batman's point of view into this because he
Yeah.
said, "I'm going to assemble a team," and
Yeah.
he put the team together. He
exactly
Tony
right.
Starked the shit out of this.
Yeah. All right, so let's get on because we don't have too much longer.
We've got
we
30,
got about
we got 30 minutes.
somewhere
We're
around there.
doing fine. We're doing fine.
We all talked and
Did we?
we've been talking about what would we reboot, and not Jay and Silent Bob. Kevin Smith's already got that taken care
I
of.
still feel like this is going to be a lot shorter than we expected.
Maybe not. It just depends because I have a feeling that I'm going to yell at Jason or something because he's going to say something stupid like he always does. But with that,
That's how he knows me.
if we it's how they know you.
That's how they know you.
What would we reboot if we could?
Who wants to take this one first?
Sean. I think
Me?
Sean. Oh,
Yeah, I think we both felt this.
Okay. All right. Street Fighter.
Ooh,
Okay.
Nice call.
Now,
How would you do it?
I would give it the Marvel treatment. And
You're going to build out each character?
No. By that I mean I would focus on a set group of characters. Okay. Look, the problems with the original Street Fighter, right? Jean-Claude Van Damme aside, okay,
Right.
and his coke habit aside. At the time,
Which is
at-
funny because
at
he
the
actually
time,
does talk about that.
I know
Yeah.
he does, and at the that's what I'm saying. At the time, his
Coke
his
habits
coke
are
habit
funny,
at the
but
time.
how he presented
So
it.
him aside, the movie itself was plagued by several, numerous like faults. It was just because of Jean-Claude Van Damme's high price tag and everything. They had to settle for a lot of underpaid, no name actors, which there's nothing wrong with that. But if you get the
Raul was not.
no, there was the two of them. It was Raul Julia and it was Van Damme. Those were the draws.
And I want to know how much cocaine the producers were making or were doing to be
How
like
much cocaine they were making?
How much
Probably
cocaine-
a lot to keep
That's that.
Jean-Claude Van
yeah,
Damme
to
around.
keep
That's
John-
that golden cocaine
Well,
money.
actually,
we talk
exactly.
about.
let's
But
face
it's like
it.
Raul Julia's like
All right,
who do we need
shut
as
up,
a villain?
shut up. Let-
All right,
let-
Let's
sorry.
face it. Most of the filming was done in Thailand. I don't think they had to really strive to find cocaine.
Exactly.
And
Amongst other things.
I'm not saying that Thailand is but I mean,
Yeah,
drugs
but it is.
drugs are different in different countries.
This is why it'll take a while.
This is why it'll take a while. Anyways, no, what I mean by that is, so Capcom had a big hand in this because go figure. It's their characters. It's their video games.
As
what
right
made.
they should.
As right they should. But what they did was they hamstrung themselves because
Yeah.
what they ended up doing, they agreed initially to say, okay, no problem. We'll just have these few core characters that you want to focus on. This is back to the marketing idea, right, that we talked about earlier with
Yeah.
Jurassic Park. The whole idea behind having Guile as the main character, which Guile should never be the main character, in
No,
my opinion, as a
it's
film of
Ryu.
as a fan. I'm sorry, film as a fan of the video game, it should always be Ryu and Ken.
Yep.
That's what it should be. Anyways,
The
so
brothers.
Yeah. In quotation marks.
brother from another mother.
Okay.
Fair enough. So with Guile, the reason they went with Guile is because they said they were still in bed with Hasbro from the Transformers and everything in that franchise, and they were like, look, if we're with Hasbro and we're with the producing, we want to actually make toys off of this. And at the time, their G.I. Joe line was failing.
Yeah.
So they were like, let's reboot that by injecting Street Fighter. And that was the actual impetus behind the idea between Capcom and everybody making this movie, was really just nothing more than a marketing push for toys.
Right.
Which is a shame, but also, hey, at least we got the movie, and it was okay at the time.
So how do you do it?
How do you do it? You focus on a core character, right? A couple of core characters. You do Ryu and Ken, specifically.
Right.
You focus on their rivalry, but also their love for each other as brothers. But then you have to throw in the main bad guy, which is going to be Bison, right? Because Bison has to be... Or, you know what? If you want to go nowadays, go with Akuma.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Throw Akuma as the main bad guy, right? Put him in there instead.
So you
Which
got Street
actually
Fighter,
makes-
Star Wars.
Kind of...
But shut up. So basically what we have, though, is it makes a lot more sense because that would absolutely be the negative side
of Ryu and Ken. So the two of them are already warring against each other, so you have to show them split. The idea is to bring them back together and then have them face the main bad guy and avenge their master, right? And that's why you're going after Akuma. You throw in, when I say core characters, you only have a few from each side that you can throw in that make sense. Don't go the full roster.
Yeah.
When Capcom had their idea here...
Keep it small.
They said eventually, they're like, we want all the characters instead of just these little ones.
Right, yeah.
And that was kind of the problem. Sure, throw the main ones in there. Throw Guile in there. Throw Chun-Li. Throw Dhalsim in there. Like, do all the main... Like, take Street Fighter 1 and go, how do we make a movie out of this? And just put it together and make a movie. But when I say Marvel treatment, what I mean is give the characters and give the plot its due. Don't be afraid to lean into what it's supposed to be. When we watch movies like John Wick, when we watch movies like The Expendables,
Right.
we know what we're getting.
Yeah.
And we're not afraid of that.
Yeah. Godzilla. I don't care about
It's
the
a
humans.
monster movie. That's what it's supposed to be. Lean into it. So let it be what it is. We know we're watching, like, okay, for as much people as love or hate it, whatever, Mortal Kombat, the original.
Yeah, it was great.
Great.
Yeah.
We still, to this day, all three of us at least agree that Mortal Kombat was good. Because it didn't shy away from what it was.
Yeah.
We're just about the fights. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah. And dude, think of all of the amazing martial artists nowadays. These MMA fighters that could jump in and even play these roles and act a good
and we have the CGI to make these characters look amazing.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Do you know how much they cut out of Street Fighter based on
what they could and couldn't do?
Because of their schedules and different people getting sick in Thailand and different actors not showing up on set in Thailand and everything, pretty much. They actually cut out all of, not all of, but most of the characters' core moves from the video game due to the fact that everybody wouldn't show up at the same time and a lot of people were sick.
Well, it's like I remember like the uppercut that Ken does in that one was so underwhelming.
It was underwhelming.
It was like
given the CGI was underwhelming, but most of their moves their moves were cut out entirely. And that's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to lean into that.
So before we move on to the next movie, got any actors in mind?
No. Because I'm of the opinion that I'd rather look, don't listen to me. Like, I have an idea, I have a broad idea, and I think it's a great idea. I have a vision, but I'm not going to get down into the minutia of who should and shouldn't be these people.
Didn't have time to think about the minutia of the plan.
Yeah, I went there. I did.
Now,
I went there.
See, but here's the thing. Now I want your version of the Street Fighter movie, but now I want it as like a Netflix miniseries of like 3 or 4 episodes.
You know what?
That'd be good.
I would actually be fine with that as a reboot.
I'm glad you said Netflix.
I would be fine with a reboot as that on Netflix as a miniseries, 2 seasons.
2 seasons, yep.
You do 2 seasons, and you do 12 episodes apiece. Yep. So that way, it's dialed back far enough to where it has a big budget to allow for those stars,
and you have time to build the characters.
And you know what? Pull some no names.
Yeah.
Like, I would prefer the no names. Yeah. And that's part of maybe that's actually more to the reason that I don't have anybody in mind.
And I don't even say don't make their do have the finishing moves, but focus on the fighting like with superpower beatdown. Like their street level fighting,
Jason,
is amazing.
You're going to only have 8 minutes.
Okay. Superpower beatdown.
It's another podcast that we're not going to.
It's not a podcast. It's a YouTube show. But whatever. Okay. Anyway. What do you want to do?
So go. Movie that you would reboot.
Honestly, the movie I want to reboot is The Force Awakens.
Oh, fanboy. Okay.
Here's why. I mean,
nope. Hold on. Stop. And I'm very sorry that I have to do this. This is a full-on veto. So you need to come up with a second one. This movie is too soon. It's
See,
too close.
I asked. Hold on. I
too
asked.
close.
We
It's
all
too
had
close.
this. I asked if there was a time frame, and y'all have 3 pages of Mr. Popper's penguins, and
That was me being a jackass for you guys.
yeah,
blowing
exactly.
Up my phone
So
while
which
I was
is
trying to
why
watch
this
a
is what
movie.
we're
There's
doing
a
now.
different set of circumstances.
Suck it up.
And it wasn't us; it was him, because he loves to just continue,
I
even when
really-
no one's answering.
Look, I really need to Okay, you know what?
Yeah, I'll
Let
tell you what.
let
You
me
got 2 minutes.
understand.
Go.
Let me understand. Tell me what's what.
I hope you can get all
Let
of
me
this out.
preference that I do like. I like the new trilogy. I like the new
Preference?
trilogy. Yes.
2 minutes. Go.
However, I do think one of the major missteps, and that has caused a lot of the division and a lot of the turmoil in the new franchise, was they in their rush to have the stormtroopers and to have all they just sort of reset the universe back to where we had it originally. I would have
You need
said
to write it down so you don't forget it later.
Oh no, I've got it now.
okay. The casting was the problem. The characters are great. Here's what I would have redone it as, though. You open with the Emperor. The Republic's been in peace for 30 years. Luke Skywalker's rebuilt, a small contingent of Force using Jedi. However, in the crawl, there are some problems out on the Outer Rim. There's been rumors of some super pirate gang that's really causing trouble. They send Ben Solo and his young Padawan out, but now he's gone missing. So now we have
Okay.
So now what we have
You
is
wanna do this, or you want
Luke
me to go?
Skywalker,
Give him a
his Padawan Rey, and they're on the Millennium Falcon,
Okay.
going out to go see what's going on, to investigate, see if they can rescue Ben Solo. At some point, they run across Finn, who is the silver chick's right-hand guy. He rebels because what he wants is freedom for the stormtroopers. They're all child soldiers. They're not clones. They aren't people who volunteered. These were children who were kidnapped. Again, as we're told in the original version of The Force Awakens, these are all children who were kidnapped and then turned into child soldiers. And so he's rebelling. And so he's siding with the Jedi to ultimately free his people. That's his motivation. That's his storyline. At the end, of course, he tells them, "Hey, Ben Solo."
You're gonna go ahead and
his
spoil the movie.
Yeah, I'll spoil the movie.
Okay, good.
Ben Solo and his Padawan. He tells them that they died because he saw it. Of course, the reveal is that Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren are this evil version. But instead of having this massive empire,
Wait, so the entire time Kylo Ren has been evil?
no, not the entire time. He
Swings evil at the end.
Yeah, he's swinging. Well,
Okay,
we find out at the end that he is Kylo Ren.
Fair enough. Keep going.
I apologize, Sean, for earlier for drinking all of the whiskey. Sorry.
Anyway,
Thanks.
I could have
so
had that.
it gives you a
right now.
chance to. It means the original trilogy sort of meant something, that there was peace, but now what we have is this resurgence.
It means something now.
No, because again,
Yes, it does.
Not to the average person, to the average viewer, because we've already had this argument. To the average viewer, they don't see. They're like, well, you blew up the Death Star. You threw the Emperor into this giant infinite shaft, and he blew up. And what happened? Like, why is everything still crap? Like,
I don't care about your Luke Skywalker.
So that's all I'm saying is it would give you a chance.
All right,
I would redo it just to
First off,
smooth out give the people what they want.
bravo to you for actually having a full kind of like story and playing the entire thing out. I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see this movie as a side movie. I would like to see this as a standalone outside of what's going on now. I don't want to see this involved as, I mean,
It's an alternate timeline.
no,
No.
not even that. Not even that. I do want to see it as a prequel to what we're currently watching.
Okay.
I want to see what you've just described, minus the named characters in it, except for Skywalker. I understand the idea of I want to see this in a prequel of them continuing to destroy the Empire after the Death Star.
A Star Wars story.
A Star Wars
Yeah.
story. And I would love to see them go try to rescue somebody from, the clutches of the Empire who is just desperately holding on to their reign in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to. I get where you're going with this. Look, I'm sorry. I may be lambasted for it, but I enjoy the movies as they are because I'm not trying to read more into them. This current trilogy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to read more into them than they are. You presented me with a story. It's either good or bad as far as I see it, and it's all right. It's all your opinion. When I watch it, if I'm at least engaged and I'm having a good time, to me, that's a decent movie. I don't want it to be something that's going to change my life.
I don't want
It's not supposed to.
I don't want to. I don't want to get bored.
Agreed,
Yeah.
but
Keep talking.
so many people feel like it, or seem to present their opinions as if it should be some sort of
Right.
impactful movie that's going to revolutionize a generation.
Do you
And
want
it's
us to stop
dude,
talking while you answer your text?
No, actually, I'm going to pull up the crap you threw at me. This is why I chose this movie, because I originally was going to go with Mantis.
No,
Well, no, it
you don't
doesn't
have to pull
matter.
up the
You
crap.
don't
We
have
already
to.
know what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
care.
It's fine.
Oh, no, but
I don't care. Just,
I just I like your movie. I like the idea. I would not want to see it as a reboot to a trilogy that hasn't even finished yet, because give it time. Like,
and if you're going to piss off the fan base, let me go one step further and piss them off even more. I loved The Last Jedi. I know. So, I mean, to that point,
I walked out of the theater and looked at my wife, and she said, "What did you think?" And I said, "I almost think it's kind of like my favorite Star Wars movie today."
See, and again, I agree. I think there was a few changes they could have made that would have made it even better. But
I think
liked
that's just
it.
I think that's just you as
I'm not even going with changes.
I'm going to pay this as a compliment, though.
Showing up and being entertained and enjoying the movie at the time and watching it and going, "This is fun."
As we've already said, appreciate something for what it is.
But we've talked about
which I
this.
do.
You, with the artist eye, you're always going to want to change something to fit your mode. That's just how
Not
you're built.
Endgame.
No, that's how you're. That's how. Are you kidding
You know
me?
what?
If I told
Here's
you one
the
thing
thing.
about Endgame and you're like, you know what? I think it could be better if we
And
did
then
it
you
this
start
way.
dissecting the whole thing. I would like to actually talk about Endgame in like 6 months, after we've had a chance to rewatch it 2 or 3 times and see what we think about it then.
Fair
Anyways,
enough.
another idea.
I
but
like
let's-
it more
let's-
now. With
that you've
couple
seen it
of-
bootlegged.
Yeah, I don't care. I didn't watch it. I went to the theater like everyone else did the first time.
I know.
But anyway, so are you good, man? Is that?
Yeah,
all
I'm
right?
just saying. Next time when I ask, hey, did
No,
we want
no,
limitations
no,
on
no,
it?
we're not
Don't
getting
tell
into
me
your I
fried
don't
green
care.
tomatoes, snow dogs, 3 Minute a Baby. The
That was Sean, not me. And that again, we were being an ass.
You did. Our Earth Girls Are Easy.
That was
No,
me.
that's still Sean.
No,
All
every
right.
single one of those is me, and give me credit, fucker.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
There it
Most-
is.
Wow.
For pulling
There's
that out of
your
the
one
hat. I pulled that out of the hat. I sat down and just boom, boom.
You know
boom,
what?
boom.
The 27 Dresses was actually, and the Earth
That's
Girls Are
still
Easy.
him.
I know.
Thank you.
Well, no, you didn't because you were giving it to me.
No, I'm pointing to him. You
Settle
go
down,
away.
Kimasabe.
I love it.
Although you did suggest it now as a porno.
I did because that made sense.
Technically, it is.
Yeah. Although, and I do agree with him.
There is
with
one
Sean
somewhere.
on this one. Don't rename Earth Girls Are Easy the Kardashians.
Don't sully,
Don't sully.
the name of that movie.
That's what I'm saying.
With the Kardashians.
No, I completely agree.
I will not give Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum any type of flack
For that
movie,
for the brilliance of that movie.
especially with the name of the Kardashians against it.
No, I agree.
What?
Anyway, like I
What's
said,
your movie,
my
Ray?
original version was Mantis, but y'all aren't into that one.
So
No, we didn't. That
no,
was
we
your
didn't.
choice.
That's you being a prick.
And that's you reading into what we responded with you.
Yeah.
I mean, you said
That's-
timeline, and we're like, dude, what are you talking
No,
about?
it's
This
time
is
frame.
this is
Time-
the same reason we don't
Like,
let you do
time-
your
Like,
own
do we have to do it
jokes.
for like 20 movies?
No,
like
no,
20
but
years ago?
Time
or
frame
no?
could mean period piece
Yes.
as well. So you have to clarify what it is you're asking. And we just
All right.
didn't
Time
care
out, time out.
enough.
Are you saying he never clarifies what he's saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
In fact, I did.
Anyway, no, you didn't.
All right.
Anyway,
Next time we do a reboot,
once
I
again,
want to do
it was-
Victorian
your thoughts
era.
in here
I wanna
have
do
to come
Victorian
out.
era.
Victorian era romance.
You know what?
films.
You're not going to get this joke, but I want to do the 17th century monarchs. And for our audience out there, there's 2 of you guys that are going to get that. Anyway, for me, it would be The Crow, but not the way that we're thinking.
Hold on. Let me just ask the question.
Yeah,
Aren't they already redoing it?
they are,
Okay.
but I don't want it done the way they're doing
Go
it.
ahead, please.
Okay.
Please.
First off, I don't think we're going to get a better story than 2 sources for Eric Draven. One would be the original comic book graphic novel by James O'Barr.
Love to see
And
that.
the second part would be is the fact that Brandon Lee did such a great job
Oh, yeah.
in what we saw that I wouldn't want to rehash the same character.
But is that just are we only giving him his due for the fact that it was his final performance?
No, I think he just did that great of a performance.
I think the movie was brilliant.
that
it really
movie
was.
That movie
I just
still
want to make
holds
sure
up.
that we're
No, I know.
not
Yeah, yeah.
obscuring the idea of anything
it's got
based
nothing
on the
to
fact
do
that
with
he
that
died.
he
Yeah,
died.
I don't want it to be like a Heath Ledger is not a situation by any means because his portrayal of Joker was amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was fantastic. I
It
think
has-
he's the best. I still think he's the best Joker we've ever seen.
I'm not sitting there saying that you couldn't do another one, and obviously they want to
Okay.
do one.
Okay.
Although
Okay.
the latest reboot attempt is already failed, and now it's stopped again. So Jason Momoa's out,
We really need to get somebody doing this. No, and you know what?
and you couldn't see him as it anyway.
Yeah.
Jansen said this earlier, and I'm going to go with something he said earlier. I don't want to see a named character as
Yeah.
the Crow. I would love to see a no name
no.
because it makes it much better. It just makes it much better.
And again, I think the problem is when you have the cash to do anything you want, you go over the top, which is one of the.
And you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I think that
well,
was
with your actor,
genius.
not
Yeah.
with your actor.
So
Find somebody good to play.
Here's the
role.
thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be the same storyline. I think that's a beautiful storyline, and that's great.
You mean from the previous
From the very first Crow,
Well, what? But
with the whole
Right.
him and everything.
and him being the rock star. But what about
the second
comic,
one,
though?
Even with the comic, I don't want to see the same one.
You don't
played
wanna
out.
see the
I don't want to
comic
see.
either.
I want to see a literal reboot adaptation of
Okay.
just the premise for the Crow.
Okay, which the premise can be played anywhere. It's like a Predator and an Alien.
And for
It
the
can be
most
done
part,
anytime.
here's the thing: there are so many movies between John Wick, between The Equalizer, between anyone where they're coming back for revenge. We already have these different iterations of the Crow, except they're just
Correct.
not dead.
They're not dead.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
For me, I think the story that got away from them, which could have been better than the first one, was the second movie. The Crow 2 absolutely sucked, but the premise of it being a parent watching his child die stuck with me. And now, as a parent, I understand that, right? So what I would want to see is I would want to see this based off of a female character. I want it to be the mother who has, say, 2 children.
Interesting.
And whatever horrible situation those are put in, they all 3 die.
No, that's really good. That's
You know?
good. I like that.
And so what would happen is that at that point in time, the other thing I want is when she eventually comes back to seek that revenge on whatever happened, she's not a martial artist. She is not a fighter. She's not wielding guns.
don't go over the top.
She is just seeking justice for what happened to them in the only ways that she knows how.
So this is
it's
like
not
gritty and bare bones
and
kind
it's
of
not
thing.
a fair fight. It's not, it's not going to be all this, karate or anything. It's going to be very street level. She's going to do it using her intelligence.
Which she probably still. I mean, you can look, and this is the point. You don't have to be a major martial artist to, to get into a fight. You don't have to be a weapons expert to fire a gun. It's just that with what you're saying, through her brute strength, as
her resolve,
just her resolve as her person, just going through and killing these guys and getting her revenge.
And getting,
I love
and
this
getting the
idea.
revenge. And then the other
idea.
thing is too is, I don't want her in her 20s or 30s. Selma Hayek is over. I think she's 51.
She's 50 something. Yeah,
She's 51 right
and
now.
that would be.
And
great.
I think that is the type of character that you need to
So
see.
these aren't young children. These are children who.
No. They're still within their teens.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're not like 2 or 3 years old.
That
Like,
actress
these are
is going to be
older.
in her
Yeah.
40s. I want that actress to be in her 40s.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be glam.
All right, so I love this because what
know?
you're saying is you want to see an honest representation of the idea,
Correct.
but with an honest representation for nowadays, so that you can look at it and go, I identify with
That's
this.
exactly right.
And I love that idea
because that's how you do it. The other thing I would take out is the link to the Crow, as far as, well, if the Crow dies, she dies. That whole storyline, I don't want it to be a part of it. In the graphic novel, it really wasn't a part of it.
And that's the point. I don't
want to see that.
I
don't want to see that.
I think the reason they did that for the sequel was in the first one we kind of had the idea that Draven couldn't be destroyed.
But that's my thing too, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the fact that
what
it
his
links
mystical
to it.
sister was like.
Yeah.
Kill the crow. The
Right.
crow. Yeah.
Right. It was to up the ante for the character.
Forget all of that.
Right.
The Crow brings her back because, just like it says, it's just the link between the land of the living and the land of the dead. That is simply it.
Well, hold on.
What about this? And I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, that's fine.
What if they don't placate to the audience and say, if we kill the crow, we'll kill the dude or kill the girl or whatever? What if they don't do that? What if it's just it happens? Or there's a place in the moment where it does have that last 30 minute, that last 15, 30 minute, whatever arc, where all of a sudden you go, oh crap, she's actually in real danger. Despite just being, going through in a murderous rage to kill all these people and avenge them, you get this moment where all of a sudden somebody accidentally shoots the crow or something accidentally happens to the crow and she takes a hit. And you're like, oh. And don't explain it. Don't explain it. Just give it that
you
moment.
don't
You know what I mean?
placate to it,
That's what I'm saying.
then there's a possibility of having it in there. But I'm still not sold on that idea.
Okay.
Here's the
All right,
question:
fair enough.
Would she interact with the Crow in the same way that Eric Draven does in the original comic?
As through the eyes of the Crow?
Well, not just through the eyes of the Crow, but the Crow actually talks.
They
in the
talk
original,
to each other. They talk to each
in the
other.
original, and particularly when Draven is dying, is when they're raping Draven's woman.
Oh,
and
at the beginning of the movie, when they were doing that, if the crow's talking to her, I can accept that. I just don't want it to be such the way it was in the actual Crow
Right.
movie. I
Yeah,
want
I'm
it
not
to
saying
be
it's a
you
buddy
don't-
comedy
you don't
where
wanna-
it's like
Exactly.
You know,
You don't want full dialogue between the two of them all the way through. But let me
For
ask.
instance, if the crow's saying, "Don't look,"
yeah.
right, like as in the comic books, it's
Ooh,
small. It's
some-
it's very.
Some people may not have
almost
actually read the
very
original comic.
hulkish.
That's
almost one word cryptic answers.
Yes.
From time
Yes.
to time.
Yes.
That way-
Yeah.
Okay.
Occasionally,
Okay.
this way.
This way.
You know, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right.
You know, she knows it's talking. She knows it's communicating, but they're not talking to each other.
I would love.
It's just like a spiritual guide.
now I want
Right.
to see this movie.
Well,
A
except
lot.
for maybe the only time that you'd get any kind of a real, not really soliloquy out of it would be
no talk.
again.
No.
Again, when and for those who don't know, in the original comic, the bird is literally telling him, "Don't look. Just you'll be home. You'll be with her. Please don't."
I don't even want that.
look."
I don't even want that. I literally just want it to be very much one sentence, one word things. I love the way the comic book did it. It does not need to be in the movie.
If you do it more in the one word sentences, I mean, just quick, just like
Yeah.
don't look. It tends to follow the idea that you can believe this tiny thing, this bird is saying it, regardless of the fact that it's a doorway or a gateway between the living
Okay,
and the dead.
fair enough.
If you
Yeah.
think about it, look,
This is a less
You
is
don't
more.
want you don't want to
Yeah.
you don't want people being like, "Oh, this is just Babe with with guns
you don't want to think that
or more guns."
Babe with guns.
Yeah.
That'll, anyway,
ram
that'll
you.
do, pig.
That is how I do it.
That'll
Now
do.
here's the thing. When we talk about
Ram you, mother.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
that is
There
kind
you go.
now that's really threatening. That'll do, pig.
Yeah.
No, but and to your point about Netflix, if you
No, I
did,
can't get that- I
if
can't
you
get the one
did,
shit out
shut
of
up for a
it.
second. If you do it to an anthology that you can actually create on stuff of that nature,
Yeah, you could
actually do something on
continue to rotate
Netflix.
characters and make
Absolutely
it an
right.
ongoing series.
It can be timepieces. It can be whatever. This
Dude,
movie
yeah.
could actually be set
a 1920s Crow,
a
Love to see
western,
that. A Western
or
Crow?
or a future Neo.
Future
Neo-
Crow.
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever the case may
definitely.
be, but
Yeah.
you can actually
Ooh,
do multiple.
a good 1700s French, like
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
and just
Or
different
the Marquis de
different
Sade
crows.
era, like
Yeah.
that. Oh man,
And
that's
that's-
be
Or you
good.
could put them literally anywhere.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
So
yeah.
if you're listening, Hollywood,
Yeah, get on that.
Get on
and
it.
give us the
call me.
Yeah, call us. We
And
got
we're
this.
going to make sure that James O'Barr gets paid and taken care of this time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into that story, but
right.
certainly there's a way to handle this without retreading the same thing, and for it to
Yeah.
be just as good, if not better, than the original.
So I have to stop you because we've got 2 minutes,
Go ahead.
which means we need to do the 3 questions.
Oh,
do.
Three
do 'em.
questions make a return today. Now I'm going to shorten this a little bit because I don't necessarily want this to go for 2 minutes because I think 2 minutes goes too far.
Okay.
So I'd like to
Fair
drop
enough.
this timer down to 1 minute.
Go, Jason.
Ooh.
Let's really put some pressure
All
on
right.
the idea.
All right.
So this is all going to be for you.
All right.
All these questions are for you. Either Jason
All right.
or Jansen, I don't know who wants to be the timekeeper.
Here, I'll do it.
Ray, you do
I'll
the
do it.
timekeeper. Give me a minute and get me ready so we can get things going. You got your timer ready? Let me know.
I do. Huh.
All right. Stretch. You gotta
Tell me when.
Probably stretch these questions.
Okay.
Tell me when.
You ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, now. Jason,
Yes.
when you decide to spoil movies for others, what type of preparation goes into delivery of the spoiler itself?
Well, usually it's a 3-hour meditation,
Uh-huh.
and then I conjure a few spirits of spoiling before I do it.
God,
Okay.
You're an idiot.
Okay, fair. All right.
40 seconds.
What is your favorite result when spoiling movies for others?
It is the anger that I can feel come across the ether.
Uh-huh.
It is like the
30
it's like the
seconds.
cry of a billion souls being snuffed out at once.
Okay. The pain of others.
The pain of others.
The pain of others.
It
25
gives me
seconds.
strength.
Okay. All right. Any movies you plan on ruining in the future?
20 seconds.
Toy
All of
Story
them.
4,
Toy Story.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
No, you will not.
And the remake of Barbie Goes to Manhattan.
Fair enough. How do we do? 6 seconds?
With 9 seconds left.
Look at you.
Look at
you
that.
actually won.
If only you could get your actual conversations down to a minute or less.
Good. Bravo, sir.
Thank you.
You made it for the minute. I think it's going to be a minute from now on.
I think so.
I like
I think
that.
it's going to be a minute
and I think
from
if we
now on.
really want to pressure him, 45 seconds.
No, it's got to be a minute.
What we need to do is we need to train him to have small, simple answers that are actually funny, just like it was just
you
now.
can't do that.
We
You
got
can't
to
train
try.
him.
Jason, you want to sign us out?
Not really.
You know what, Sean? You sign us out.
Yeah, you sign us out.
You shine.
You shut us out?
Yeah,
You
you
shine
shine
us
us out. Just for them.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. Thank you for suffering through this. You can catch us live every other Saturday here at DallasOnAir.com or on Facebook.com as well. Vagabond Nerds /Facebook, whatever that is.
Yeah.
You can email us at vagabondnerds@gmail.com.
YouTube, subscribe and like.
YouTube, subscribe and like. Share it with your friends if you would, please. Also, check out any of Jason's fantastic artwork on vagabondnerds.com if you guys want a t-shirt. There's lots of great stuff going on there.
Lots of great
get on
stuff.
that.
What show is this?
Yeah.
I want to be on that show.
I know, right? I know. So, yeah, I mean, we'll be back in a couple more weeks, and
That's right.
we'll talk to you about whatever it is we find out at that time. And subject you to this bullshit we do.
Oh my
every
gosh,
week.
we love all of y'all. Sean with the one F-bomb today. Jason wishing he could say one.
Totally unprepared, by the way. Completely unprepared. It just,
but
it just
Jason
slipped
brings
out.
that. Jason brings
He
that
brings that
out
out
of
in people.
Yeah.
He brings that out in people. All right. Well,
All right.
thank you guys.
See y'all on
and
two.
girls.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.